Welcome, everyone. In this Exam 1 review, we're going to walk through the essential concepts from Chapter 1 through 4. These ideas form the foundation of effective communication, not just for this course, but your future role as professionals and teammates. Let's jump in. Communication is so much more than talking. It's the ability to connect, understand, and respond with intention. Today's top managerial skills consistently include caring, empathy, and emotional intelligence. As we review these chapters, pay attention to how communication moves from the basics of message construction to the psychology behind how people perceive and interpret what we say. Every message has two layers. The content dimension is the literal meaning, the words themselves. But communication never happens in a vacuum. Context shapes how that message is interpreted. The same sentence can land very differently depending on the environment, the relationship, or even the mood of the people involved. Understanding this flow helps you communicate more intentionally. Much of communication is guided by implicit rules, the unwritten norms we learn through experience. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is the ability to be aware of your emotions and manage them deliberately. At the center of all this is integrity, doing what you say you'll do. When your behavior aligns with your words, your credibility grows. Culture is the collection of learned symbols, values, and norms that shape how we see the world. Society refers to the organized community we live in. Within that society, we all belong to co-cultures, smaller groups that share specific characteristics or experiences. It's also important to distinguish nationality, which is tied to citizenship, from ethnicity, which is tied to heritage. One common trap is cultural centrism, the belief that my way is the correct way. Another is projected cognitive similarity, where we assume others think the same way we do. These assumptions can lead to misunderstandings. Remember, people interpret messages differently based on their cultural background and lived experiences. Cultures vary in many ways. Some are high contact, where touch and closeness are normal. Others are low contact. The U.S. is generally monochronic, meaning we value schedules and time management. It's also considered low power distance, where people expect more equality between leaders and followers. And don't forget neodiversity. People process information different, and inclusive communication accounts for that. Verbal communication includes the words we choose and the structure of our sentences. Nonverbal communication includes facial expressions, posture, gestures, and touch. Dialects, regional variations in language, also shape how we express ourselves and how others perceive us. Both verbal and nonverbal cues work together to create meaning. Vocalics refers to how we use pitch, tone, and volume to shape meaning. Think about how a simple phrase can sound supportive or sarcastic depending on tone. Facial primacy reminds us that the face is the most expressive channel of communication, and haptics or touch is one of the most fundamental human senses, though its meaning varies widely across cultures. Effective listening is an active process. It moves through four stages: attending or paying attention, interpreting or making sense of what you hear, evaluating or judging the message, and finally responding, which shows the speaker you're engaged. Strong listeners move through these stages intentionally. Several barriers can get in the way. Information overload makes it hard to focus. Selective attention means we hear only what we want to hear. Hidden agendas can damage credibility. The vividness effect causes us to overvaluate dramatic details and undervalue probability, even though probability tells us what's most likely true. And finally, strong communicators separate facts from opinions to avoid misrepresentation. As you prepare for the exam, review the key terms in your study guide and make sure you understand how these concepts connect. Communication is a skill you build over time, and mastering these foundations will make you a stronger communicator in every part of your life.